Hello friends, first I welcome you in this lecture. Myself, Mr. Ruhidi Jadhav, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Chemistry, KTHM College, Nasik 2. Student, in the last lecture, we start interface technology applications. In that lecture, we have seen the use of high accuracy mass measurement in combination with LCMS for the structural determination of drug metabolites. In this today lecture, we will see the use of cone voltage fragmentation in conjugation with high accuracy mass measurement and LCMS for metabolite identification. Let us start today's topics: the use of cone voltage fragmentation in in conjunction in conjunction with high accuracy mass measurements and LCMS for metabolite identification. A slightly different use of accurate mass measurement in drug metabolism studies has been reported. In this investigation, the accurate masses of the ions derived from glyburide and some of its metabolites were used to calculate the difference in mass and thus the elemental composition between certain of the ions observed in the spectra of the various compounds. The mass differences between the protonic molecular weight ion from glyburide glyburide and each of the four metabolites studied were shown to correspond to a single oxygen atom with a determined mass difference very close to the 15.9949 Dalton required by theory. With the results obtained summarized in table 5.14, the elemental composition of the MH plus ion from each of these metabolites could therefore be assigned as C23, H29, ClN3O6S based on the composition of the equivalent ion from the parent drug being C23, H29, ClN3O5S. Here in figure 5.48, structure of glyburide with the elemental composition of C23H28Cl N3O5S. Exact mass of glyburide is 493.1438 Dalton. This is reprinted with permission from American Chemical Society. This is structure of the glyburide. And in this table 5.14, summary of the accurate mass differences in Dalton between mass differences in Dalton between the molecular ion of glyburide and the molecular ion of 5 of its metabolites. This is also reprinted with permission of American Chemical Society. This is M1, M2, M3, M4, M5 metabolite of glyburide injection. Average value of coefficient of variance in percentage, and this is relative errors. Here the theoretical mass of oxygen is 15.9949 Dalton. Coefficient of variations, this is coefficient of variation in percentage and relative error. This is metabolite M1, M2, M3, M4 and M5. The use of cone voltage fragmentation CVF to obtain structural information was discussed earlier in section 4.7.4, and the comment was made there that because this has the potential to bring about fragmentation of all ions in the source of the mass spectrometer, the spectra were often difficult to interpret when the analyte under consideration is of low molecular weight. Its spectrum is likely to consist only of a few ions, and cone voltage fragmentation is of more practical value. The structures of the glyburide metabolites whose elemental composition had been determined were investigated by using cone voltage fragmentation. Separation of the metabolites was achieved by using 2 mm by 100 mm C18 column with gradient elution, employing a mobile phase of aqueous acetonitrile with ammonium acetate at pH 5. A flow rate of 200 microliter per minute was used. The analysis methodology was as previously described, with the location of the metabolites carried out by using an RIC of mass to charge 510, that is 16 Dalton above the protonated molecular weight ion of the parent drug. The results of this analysis are shown in figure 5.49. Here, this figure 5.49, a total ion current trace A. Figure 5.49, A is the total ion current trace, and B the reconstructed ion chromatogram of mass to charge 510.2 plus minus 0.5 monooxygenated metabolite. This is for monooxygenated metabolite from LCMS analysis of human microsomal incubation of glyburide. This is represented with permission from American Chemical Society. This A is total ion current trace, and this B is the reconstructed ion chromatogram of the mass to charge 510.2 plus minus 0.5 monooxygenated metabolite. This is M1, M2, M3, M4. This is M5, and this is also M1, M2, M3, M4 and M5 glyburide. The mass spectrum of the drug was then obtained by using cone voltage fragmentation, and is shown by and is shown in figure 5.50. Of interest are the ions of mass to charge 532 and mass to charge 570, which may be attributed to the formation of M plus K ions and M plus twice K minus H ions. It should also be noted that the spectrum is simple, thus facilitating interpretation and the use of quadrupole TOF instrument allows the accurate masses of the fragment ions to be determined. This gives an added confidence in proposing the formation of the potassium adducts and a fragmentation scheme shown in figure 5.51. In figure 5.50, the accurate mass cone voltage spectrum of glyceride determined from in vitro incubation sample. This is also reprinted with permission, American Chemical Society. This relative intensity versus mass to charge ratio, accurate mass cone voltage spectrum of glyceride. And this figure 5.51 proposed fragmentation scheme for glyceride. This is also reprinted with permission of American Chemical Society. Fragmentation of glyceride. The interpretation of the cone voltage fragmentation spectra of the metabolite was may be attempted by using a similar methodology to that described previously, that is subject to the cautionary note above, looking to see which ions occur at the same mass to charge value in the spectra of the parent drug and its metabolite, and which show significant mass variations. The cone voltage fragmentation spectrum from one of the metabolites is shown in figure 5.52. In addition to the potassium adducts noted in the spectrum from the parent drug, the spectrum contains ions at mass to charge 169.0045. Also observed in the spectrum of the parent drug, mass to charge ratio 385.0624 and mass 367.0504. Only the theoretical elemental composition matching the experimentally determined value within 9 ppm was found for the ions of mass 169.0045 and 385.0624. These being C8H6, ClO2 and C16H18 N2O5 SCl respectively. The ion of mass to charge 367.0504 yielded two possible atomic composition, that is C16H16 N2O4 SCl and C19H12 N2O4 Cl, with the former being chosen on the basis of the relative abundance of the ion at mass to charge 369 being consistent with the presence of both chlorine and sulfur. The ion of mass to charge 385 was considered to arise from elimination of cyclohexyl isocyanate. and that at mass 367 from elimination of both cyclohexyl isocyanate and water. It was then argued that the elimination of the isocyanate indicated that metabolism had not occurred on the cyclohexyl ring, and from the elimination of water that metabolism had not occurred on either of the aromatic rings, the ion at mass to charge 169 being evidence for the presence of the unchanged chlorine containing aromatic ring. It was proposed that the structure of the metabolite was as shown in figure 5.53, which also shows a rationale for the cone voltage fragmentation observed. In this figure 5.52, this is accurate mass cone voltage spectrum of the ethyl hydroxy metabolite of glyburide formed in vitro by human liver microsomes. This is also reprinted with permission from American Chemical Society. This relative intensity versus mass, and this 5.53, this is proposed fragmentation scheme for the ethyl hydroxy metabolite of glyburide. This is also reprinted with permission from American Chemical Society. Proposed fragmentation of glyburide. Next, the use of LCMS for the identification of drug metabolites. The example chosen above have illustrated how cone voltage fragmentation or MSMS may be used to generate useful structural information, but these do not always provide sufficient detail to allow an equivocal structural assignment. There may still be instances where it might be necessary to probe fragmentation pathway further. This can be accomplished by combining MSMS with cone voltage fragmentation, that is, use cone voltage fragmentation to effect fragmentation of an ion of interest and then study one of the product ions so formed by using conventional MSMS. This may be considered to be MS-MS-MS. One of the features of an ion trap is that ion selection is carried out in time rather than space. In this type of instrument, MS-MS data are generated by ionizing the analyte of interest in the normal way, but then instead of causing ions of all mass to charge values to become unstable and reach the detector. Ions other than those being studied by MS-MS, MS-MS are ejected from the trap. The selected ion is then caused to fragment in the trap, and the ions so generated are made unstable in order to generate the MS spectrum. The procedure may then be repeated, that is, single ion produced during the first stage of MS may then be selected ions of all other mass to charge values being ejected from the trap, and these ions then cause to fragment an MS-MS or MS3 spectrum may then be generated. This process may again be repeated by using one of the ions generated using MS3 to give an MS4 spectrum, etc. In this way, more detailed information on the structure of the ions involved may be obtained. These techniques are often referred to as MSN to indicate multiple stages of MSMS. The metabolism of the chiral drug praziquantel, the structure of which is shown in figure 5.54, was investigated by using multiple stages of MSMS. The drug is administered as a racemate, but the activity is associated mainly with the R- enantiomer. Biotransformation yields 5 metabolites which were studied by using a combination of capillary electrophoresis and LCMS. With the LCMS studies involving separation of the metabolites produced during the incubation of praziquantel with rat liver microsomes. The mass spectrometry employed electrospray ionization, and each metabolite gave an protonic molecular weight ion M plus H ion, which was then used as a precursor ion for a product ion MSMS scan. For subsequent MS raised to n experiments, the base peak of the previous MS experiments was chosen under computer control, and this allowed all analytes to be studied in a single chromatographic separation. The protonated molecular ion of metabolite M2 occurred at mass to charge 329, an increase of 16 Dalton over the parent drug, thus suggesting that an hydroxyl group had been formed. The product ion MS spectrum of this ion gave a base peak at mass to charge 311, which was then used as the precursor ion for MS3, while MS4 was MS raised to 4 precursor ion for MS raised to 3, while MS raised to 4 was carried out on mass to charge 283 and MS raised to 5 on mass to charge 173. The resulting spectra are shown in figure 5.55. A detailed analysis of this spectra allowed the authors to suggest, on the basis of an ion appearing in the MS raised to 4 spectrum, that initial hydroxylation was likely to have occurred on position 6 or 7 of the parent compounds. That is in this figure 5.54. Structure of praziquantel and its metabolite cis and trans 4-hydroxy praziquantel. This is also reprinted from Permission Elsewhere Science. This is compound R1 R2 praziquantel 1 R1 R2HH trans 4-hydroxy praziquantel 2 R1H R2OH cis 4-hydroxy praziquantel 3 R1OH R2H. This is figure 5.55 MS raised to n spectra from mass to charge 329. The molecular weight protonic ion of an hydroxy metabolite of praziquintal and the base peaks in subsequent product ion spectra. This is also reprinted from Journal of Chromatography and copyright with permission from Elsewhere Science. Here, A ms raised to 2 329 relative intensity versus mass to charge. This is for ms raised to 2. This is for ms raised to 3 329 and 311. This is molecular weight, mass. This is mass. This is mass. And this is ms raised to 4. 329, 311, 283. ms raised to 5. 329, 311, 283 and 173. Like that. An important feature of this is that the mass spectrometer had sufficient sensitivity to obtain three levels of ms-ms spectra during the elution of an HPLC peak and hence yield useful analytical information. The above selected examples demonstrate the importance of atmospheric pressure, chemical ionization, and electrospray in the field of drug metabolism studies. But these ionization techniques have been used extensively for structural studies involving environmental pollutants such as pesticides and for impurity profiling, where all materials present in pharmaceutical formulations at a level greater than 0.1 percentage must be characterized fully. The general procedures employed do not vary, however, as in many cases, the structures of the compounds under investigation are not totally unknown. In the study of drug metabolism, it is possible to make certain predictions, and that is also usually equally possible in impurity profiling when reagents and experimental conditions are known. The general procedure is to use reconstructed ion chromatograms at appropriate mass to charge values in an attempt to locate compounds of interest and then look at the mass spectrum of the unknown to determine its molecular weight. ms-ms can then be employed to obtain spectra from this and related compounds to find ions that are common to both and which may therefore contain common structural features. Having the same mass to charge value does not necessarily mean the ions are identical, and further MS, MS data or the elemental composition may be required. If these data do not allow unequivocal, unequivocal structure identification, then further ms raised to n information may be required. In addition, synthesis of reference compounds and comparison of HPLC retention characteristics and mass spectral data is often required. These all are the different example and cone voltage fragmentation we are seeing in today's lecture. Thank you.